I love about this time of the year include those beautiful yellow, orange, and red leaves that make fall drives so breathtaking. With the change in season also comes colds and flus. Welcome to Revive Life. I'm naturopathic Dr. Joël. Today, we're going to give you lots of info so you don't have to walk around with a seriously stuffy head or a throat that's on fire or a temperature that's through the roof. In the years past, we've had flu scares, including the SARS, H1N1, which are all reminders that flus can actually be serious stuff. For anyone who's asthmatic, it's also important to know that the most common cause of asthma in children under the age of 3 is a cold. And the common cold can trigger up to 90% of asthma attacks in children and up to 40% in adults. For most of us, however, it means just staying home and getting caught up on that much needed rest. There's so many questions that people ask about colds and flus that we'll answer today, including our Revive Life quiz. Number 1, you should feed a cold and starve a fever. 2, a mild fever is a good way that the body fights colds and flus. And number 3, IV therapy can be used to boost your immune system. So first of all, where do we pick up the bugs and how can we prevent getting a cold or flu? Well, the number 1 place is, of course, handshakes, sneezing, and yes, kissing. Did you know that when a person sneezes, small particles are discharged from the nose at over 100 miles an hour and can cover a distance of over 3 feet? So don't forget to wash your hands. Make sure that you wash your hands for at least 20 seconds, which can reduce microbes by up to 90%, colds and flus by up to 16%, and that nasty diarrhea by 50%. And just a note, using regular soap does the trick just as well as using antibacterial soap may even lead to the development of bacteria that are resistant, making it harder to kill those germs in the future. Number 2, well, yes, it's actually these guys. Your kitchen sponges and dishcloths, your kitchen is actually a place that harbors more bacteria than any other room in the home. Sponges and dishcloths are notorious for harboring bacteria. Why? Well, that's because they sit wet for days with bits of food on them, which bugs love. What's your best bet? Well, ditch the sponges in favor of dishcloths that you definitely want to wash every few days. Number 3, restrooms and toilet seats. Well, this one's a no-brainer. It's been shown that bacteria and viruses from droplets produced by flushing a toilet, yes, remain airborne long enough to settle on surfaces throughout the bathroom for up to 2 hours after each flush. So don't forget to close the toilet seat before you flush, gentlemen, that's you, and keep your toothbrush out of range. For the other top 10 places that bugs love to hide, go to revivelife.tv. Our first guest, naturopathic Dr. Claire Sullivan from Ottawa Integrative Health Centre, was inspired to study complementary medicine from her mother and has had an opportunity to experience natural treatments in Africa, France, and Guyana. Welcome, Dr. Sullivan.
Thank you for having me.
Well, this is a timely part of year, and of course we've got those flus and colds out there. What is the difference between a cold and a flu?
Well, a cold is really an upper respiratory tract infection, so you're going to get a sinus, a sore throat, sinus infection. A flu is more of a systemic, so you're going to get fevers and chills, body aches. You're not going to be wanting to get out of bed and do anything. You can still get the congestion and sore throat that comes along with it, but that's the difference, really.
And who are our people who are most susceptible to colds and flus in particular?
The most susceptible people would be anyone with a decreased immune system. So anyone with a chronic disease that they're already fighting, people over the age of 65, young children under the age of 6, and then
anybody who's immunocompromised, I would presume as well?
Yes, immunocompromised, yes.
Okay. Well, we've got lots more to discuss, and so we're going to continue with Dr. Claire Sullivan. We want to answer all of your questions. The other question that we're going to answer is, why is your digestion important to cold and flu prevention? And coming up at the bottom of the hour, should you get the flu shot? Yes or no? Stay tuned and we'll answer all of your questions.